So this couple is living the dream life, traveling across America in a van, posting beautiful photos on Instagram, and everyone's following their journey, thinking it's perfect. But behind the scenes, something really dark is happening. Her name is Gabby Petito, she's 22 years old, and she's been with her fiancé Brian Laundrie since high school. In July 2021, they decide to take this epic cross-country road trip in a converted white Ford Transit van, and Gabby is documenting everything on social media, posting stunning photos of national parks, sunsets, and adventures, building up a following of people who are living vicariously through their travels. They visit Monument Valley, they go to Salt Lake City, they hit up all these amazing locations, and from the outside looking in, this couple seems happy and in love, living that van life dream that so many people fantasize about. But here's where things start getting weird. On August 12, 2021, someone calls 911 in Moab, Utah, and reports seeing a man slapping a woman near their van. Police respond and find Gabby and Brian, and when officers talk to them separately, Gabby is visibly upset, crying, saying she has anxiety and that they'd been arguing. Brian has scratches on his face and he tells police that Gabby hit him during the argument. The officers spend over an hour talking to both of them, and they determine this is more of a mental health crisis than a domestic situation, so they separate the couple for the night to cool off, with Brian staying in a hotel and Gabby keeping the van. The officers don't arrest anyone, they just want to de-escalate the situation. Now here's the twist that makes this absolutely haunting. One of the officers actually gives Brian his personal number and tells him to call if he needs anything, being friendly and supportive, not realizing what's about to happen. After that incident, Gabby and Brian continue their trip, and she keeps posting on Instagram, but people who follow her notice the posts start becoming less frequent. The last photo she posts is on August 25th from Ogden, Utah. Then her Instagram goes quiet, which is unusual for someone who's been posting regularly. Her family starts getting worried because Gabby usually texts her mom every day, and suddenly the messages stop. They get a few text messages from Gabby's phone, but her mom immediately knows something is wrong because the texts don't sound like Gabby. The wording is off. It's not how she normally communicates. On September 1st, 2021, Brian Laundrie returns to his parents' house in Northport, Florida. And here's what's absolutely insane. He returns alone, driving Gabby's van, and he just goes about his business like nothing happened. He doesn't tell anyone where Gabby is. He doesn't report her missing. He just goes home and stays quiet. Gabby's family is frantically trying to reach her, calling, texting, getting no response, and they're also trying to contact Brian and his family, asking where Gabby is, and the Laundrie family refuses to answer. They just lawyer up immediately and won't say anything. On September 11th, 10 days after Brian returned home alone, Gabby's family officially reports her missing, and this is when the case explodes nationally. Social media goes absolutely crazy, with people analyzing every Instagram post, every photo, trying to find clues about what happened. TikTok users start going through Gabby's social media timeline, and they notice something disturbing in her posts. You can see signs of tension. Some photos show what look like marks on her arms, and people start speculating about what was really happening during this trip. The FBI gets involved, and they start tracking the couple's movements using social media posts, credit card transactions, and security footage from various locations. Now here's where regular people on the internet actually help solve the case. A family from Florida who had been traveling out west around the same time posts a YouTube video of their own trip, and in the background of their footage from Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming, you can see Gabby's white van parked in a remote area. The date stamp on the video is August 27th. This gives investigators a specific location to search. On September 19th, 2021, authorities find human remains in the Bridger-Teton National Forest in Wyoming, in the exact area where that van was spotted in the YouTube video, and the remains are confirmed to be Gabby Petito. The medical examiner determines she passed away by manual strangulation, and based on the condition of the remains, they estimate she'd been there for 3 to 4 weeks, which matches the timeline of when she stopped communicating with her family. Now everyone's attention turns to Brian Laundrie because he's the last person seen with Gabby. He drove her van home alone, and he's been refusing to talk to investigators this entire time. But here's the plot twist that nobody sees coming. On September 17th, 2 days before Gabby's remains are found, Brian's parents report him missing. They claim he told them he was going hiking in the Carlton Reserve, which is this massive 25,000-acre swampland near their home in Florida, and he never came back. People are immediately skeptical because the timing is so suspicious. Gabby's case is national news. Everyone's looking for Brian, and suddenly his parents claim he went missing. The internet goes wild with theories. People think he's on the run, that his parents are helping him hide, that he fled to Mexico or another country, and there are alleged sightings of Brian all over the place. People calling in tips saying they saw him at gas stations, hiking trails, everywhere. The FBI launches a massive search of the Carlton Reserve, bringing in dogs, helicopters, divers searching the swampy areas, and they're looking for weeks with no sign of Brian. Meanwhile, investigators piece together more of what happened during the trip. They find witnesses who saw the couple arguing at a restaurant in Jackson, Wyoming, with staff saying Brian was acting aggressively toward Gabby. They discover that on August 27th, the day the van was spotted, someone used Gabby's phone to send a text to her mom, but it was clearly not from Gabby because it referred to her grandfather by his first name, which she never did. Brian apparently sent that text trying to make it seem like she was still alive. Then on October 20th, 2021, more than a month after Brian was reported missing, his parents go to the Carlton Reserve to help search, and within hours, they find some of Brian's belongings near a trail. Law enforcement searches the area more thoroughly, and they discover human remains along with a backpack and notebook that belonged to Brian. The remains are in a very difficult to access area that had been underwater during previous searches due to flooding. Dental records confirm the remains of Brian Laundrie. Now here's the final twist that answers some questions but leaves others open forever. The medical examiner determines Brian passed away from a self-inflicted incident, and investigators find a notebook near his remains. In that notebook, Brian has written a confession, admitting that he ended Gabby's life. He claims in the note that Gabby was injured, that she was in pain, and that he made the decision to end her suffering, essentially trying to frame it as some kind of mercy situation. But investigators and Gabby's family don't believe this version at all, because the autopsy showed she was strangled, and there's evidence they had been arguing throughout the trip. The FBI closes the investigation, concluding that Brian Laundrie was responsible for Gabby's passing and that he took his own life in that swamp shortly after returning to Florida, probably within days of his parents reporting him missing. Gabby's family files a lawsuit against Brian's parents, claiming they knew what happened and helped Brian evade authorities before he disappeared into that reserve. The lawsuit alleges that Brian told his parents what he did, and instead of contacting police, they got him a lawyer and gave him time to run. The case settles out of court in 2024 for an undisclosed amount. What makes this case so impactful is how social media and citizen sleuths played a huge role in solving it. From the YouTube video that pinpointed where Gabby was to the millions of people who kept the case in the national spotlight and put pressure on authorities to investigate thoroughly. But it's also a tragic reminder that the perfect life people show on social media is often hiding really dark situations, and that if you see signs someone's in trouble, it's important to take them seriously. Gabby's family has since created a foundation in her name to help other families dealing with missing persons cases and to raise awareness about domestic situations, trying to make sure that Gabby's story leads to positive change and helps protect others who might be in similar dangerous relationships.